The NBA MVP award. It's more than a trophy, it's the crown jewel of basketball. The one prize that stamps your name in history as the very best in the game. But here's the thing, it's been a while since an American held that crown. The last time, James Harden, back in 2018. Since then, year after year, the spotlight has belonged to international stars. Nikola Jokić with his genius passing. 7 seasons where the MVP never came home. For a league born in America, that's a long drought. So now, the 2025-26 season sets up a new question. Can someone finally bring the award back to American soil? And if so, who's got the best shot? That's where things get fun. Because right now, there are 5 names standing out. 5 players who have the talent, the storyline, and the firepower to make their case. Over the next few minutes, we're breaking them down one by one, their strengths, their chances, and what it would mean if they're the one to finally reclaim the throne. The race is wide open, the pressure is real, and the chase for MVP, it's just getting started. The place where basketball isn't just a sport, it's a heartbeat. The Mecca, the Garden, the city that's been starving for a true hero to carry the Knicks back into greatness. And right now, that hero might just be Jalen Brunson. Think about his journey for a second. A second-round pick, a guy most people thought would be a solid backup, maybe a role player. Fast forward, and he's not just running the Knicks, he's the face of the franchise. A legit superstar in the biggest basketball market in the world. Last season, Brunson put up numbers that shocked a lot of people. Among all point guards, only Cade Cunningham scored more, and Brunson did it on better efficiency. But the stats only tell part of the story, where he really makes his case. Crunch time, the lights get brighter, the pressure builds, and that's when Brunson goes cold-blooded. Step backs, drives, big-time shots. He's got ice in his veins. In New York, that matters. Fans don't just want stars, they want killers. In the clutch, and Brunson has shown over and over again that he lives for those moments. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Knicks brought in Mike Brown as their new head coach. That could change Brunson's role. Maybe he won't carry the ball every single possession. Maybe he'll be asked to share more, to create for others. But that might actually help him, because if Brunson's scoring stays elite and his assist numbers take a leap, suddenly, we're not just talking about a high-scoring guard. We're talking about a complete floor general who's driving winning basketball. The Knicks are projected to crack 50 wins this season if they push for a top 3 seed in the East. And Brunson is putting up the kind of numbers we know he can. Forget the underdog story. Forget the second-round pick label. He'll be right in the middle of the MVP race. And in New York City, with the whole basketball world watching, he'll be impossible to ignore. Next up, we head to Detroit, a city built on grit, hard work, and basketball pride. And right now, the new face of that tradition is Cade Cunningham. Last season, Cade quietly crept into the MVP conversation and finished 7th in the voting. Not bad for a guy still shaping his game. But here's the truth, that was just the beginning. The Pistons aren't the rebuilding mess they used to be. They've grown, they've toughened up, and now they look like a legit 50-win team. And at the center of it all, Cade. He's the leader, the engine, the guy who sets the tone every single night. You can see it in how he plays. Big guard size, smooth control, the kind of poise that makes defenses panic even when he doesn't rush. He's stepping right into that golden window of a young star's career when the game slows down. The confidence kicks in, and the leap from good to great feels inevitable. But here's the challenge. MVP voters can be stubborn. They like a story, they like hierarchy. Sometimes they want players to wait their turn, like there's a line to be crowned. Cade doesn't exactly fit that script, and maybe that's what makes him dangerous. Because if he comes out strong, if he piles up wins early, if Detroit sits near the top of the East, then the voters won't be able to ignore him. The numbers, the wins, the leadership, it'll all be right there. Cade Cunningham has the talent to skip the line. And if he delivers the kind of season the Pistons believe he can, his name won't just be floating around the conversation. It'll be in bold print, near the very top of every ballot. Detroit basketball is back. and Cade might just be the one to carry it all the way to MVP. Anthony Davis. You already know the story. When he's on the court, he's one of the most complete players in basketball. He can score inside and out, anchor a defense, protect the rim, stretch the floor. There's not much he can't do. But now the story takes a new turn because he's in Dallas. And the question is as simple as it gets. Can he stay healthy? Since 2018, Davis has only crossed the 65-game mark once. That's been the cloud hanging over his career. Talent never in doubt. Availability? Always the question. This season, though, feels different. It's his first full year with the Mavericks, a clean slate. And with Kyrie Irving sidelined to start, Davis isn't just another star on the roster. He's the one carrying the load. Here's what makes it interesting. If Davis stays on the floor, he has everything lined up for a redemption tour. He's got Luka setting him up, a system that lets him shine on both ends. And Davis is the reason why, dominating the paint, locking down defensively, putting up monster numbers. Then the conversation is over. He's not just a candidate. He's right in the thick of the MVP race. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. A player who doesn't just want to play the game. He wants everything that comes with it. Rings, awards, the spotlight. He's not shy about saying it out loud. And here's the thing. He's backing it up. Last season, Edwards put up 27.6 points per game, fourth in the entire league, while also showing real growth from three. That's not just talent. That's a star sharpening his tools, adding new layers to his game. So what's the key to his MVP push? If Minnesota can push for 60 victories, if they can actually go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma City for that one seed in the West, Edwards will have everything an MVP case needs: the stats, the leadership, the highlight plays, and, most importantly, the narrative. Because Edwards checks every box voters love. He's electric, he's fearless, and he's marketable in a way few young stars are. He's got the charisma, the confidence, and the kind of swagger that makes people pay attention. Keep your eyes on Ant-Man. If the Wolves break through, don't be surprised if it's Edwards holding up the trophy at season's end. Finally, we land in Cleveland, and the name to watch is Donovan Mitchell. Last season, Mitchell finished with the second most MVP votes among Americans, trailing only Jason Tatum. That alone tells you he's already knocking on the door. But now, with Tatum on the mend and rehabbing, that door might be wide open. The setup couldn't be better. The Cavaliers are fresh off a 64-win season, the kind of record that screams championship contender. And history tells us something important. When a team finishes near the very top of the league, the best player on that team almost always ends up in the MVP conversation. For Cleveland, that player is Donovan Mitchell. He's their closer, the one with the ball in his hands when the game is tight, the shot clock is low, and everything's on the line. Fans already know him as a human flamethrower, a scorer who can catch fire and take over a game in seconds. But this year, the bar is higher. If Mitchell wants to move from MVP votes to actually winning MVP, he'll need to do more than just score. The expectation is clear: crack the top 5 in league scoring, and add layers to his stat line: rebounds, assists, defensive metrics, the full package. Voters love when a star shows growth, when the numbers say he's carrying the load on both ends of the floor. And here's the bottom line: if Cleveland stays on top of the East, if they're the team to beat all year long, then Mitchell won't just be in the conversation. He'll be right in the spotlight, front and center, with as strong a case as anyone in the league. Donovan Mitchell has always been a scorer. This season, he has a chance to be something even bigger. So here's the big picture. Brunson has the market power of New York. Cunningham has the youth and rising star narrative. Davis has the two-way dominance. If healthy, Edwards has the explosive charisma. And Mitchell has the winning formula on a contender. One of these guys could finally snap the drought and bring the MVP back to an American-born player for the first time since 2018. Who's your pick? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're riding with one of these 5, let us know why. The race is about to get real.